Welcome back to Truth Media TV, your source of unbiased news. In this video, we're talking about something that's really important: freedom of speech. We want to understand how our voices are being protected and what challenges we are facing in the digital age. Let's start with the Jamaican Constitution, which guarantees our right to freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is a fundamental right that allows us to express our thoughts and ideas without unnecessary interference from the government or anyone else for that matter. This means we have the power to speak up and to be heard. Recently, there have been some concerns raised by the Commissioner of Police, Major General Antony Anderson. He is worried about people misusing technology to spread false information and cause trouble.
Police Commissioner Major General Antony Anderson says laws to go after persons who use technology to create mischief are needed to punish wrongdoers. Commissioner Anderson said Tuesday the constabulary force is concerned about the creation of content aimed at misleading the police and the public.
To address this problem, the Commissioner believes we need new laws. He claims that these laws would help the police tackle issues like fake videos, artificial intelligence, and the misuse of social media. He wants to introduce offenses that range from causing mischief online to more serious violations. His objective is to give law enforcement, he claims, the tools they need to fight against these problems. Now, I find the Commissioner's call for legislation to deal with these so-called digital mischief makers hypocritical. First of all, we already have laws in Jamaica to deal with public mischief. Even though these laws were made before social media became very popular, they can still apply to things that happen online. The Criminal Justice Public Order Act of 1974, specifically Section 51 of the Act, addresses the offense of public mischief, right? The section states that, quote, any person who willfully and without lawful exercise or justification speaks any false news or causes any false report to be spread to cause panic or fear amongst the public or to disturb the public peace is guilty of an offense and liable to imprisonment for 2 years, end quote. And, we can interpret this law to also include public mischief on the internet. This means that if someone knowingly shares information that they know is not true, and it causes people to panic or feel fearful, or if it disrupts the peace and harmony in our society, they can get in trouble with the law. They may be put in jail for a period of 2 years if they are found guilty. So the reason behind this law is to protect people from the harmful effects of false information and to maintain a peaceful and secure environment for everyone. So I'm fairly certain that the law could be broadly interpreted to include public mischief making on the social media space. But here's the thing. We're facing a huge problem in Jamaica when it comes to crime. Murders are going up and there's a lot of violence against children. So we have to ask ourselves, why is the Commissioner of Police so worried about making laws to go after bloggers who he believes are causing trouble on social media? Well, the truth is that, some of these bloggers like Sir P and Popeye's News Media are actually exposing corruption within the police force. They're shining a light on the Commissioner's failures in handling the high crime rates in Jamaica. As Sir P always say, it's either you can do it or you want to do it. And in this case, I believe that, the police commission doesn't want to do what needs to be done. It is important to understand that these bloggers are using their voices to show us what's really going on in this country. They're pointing out the commissioner's lack of competence or possible corruption. And instead of addressing the epidemic of crime that is, plaguing Jamaica right now, the commissioner is focused on targeting those who he thinks bring attention to these issues. We must appreciate the work that these bloggers are doing as they are speaking up on our behalf. And they're not causing any trouble, but they are revealing the truth. It is important to support their efforts to hold those in power accountable and make positive changes in our community. Remember, it is our right to question authority and demand transparency. I want to talk about why I'm really making this video. The fact of the matter is, our freedom of speech is under siege. It is being threatened by big government and big media. If you look all across the world right now, you realize that governments and media are trying their very best to control what we say and how we express ourselves. As a matter of fact, in the United States of America, Joe Biden even tried to create a board to control information called the Disinformation Government Board. But fortunately, that board was declared illegal and it was rejected. The BBC also created a fact-checking department, but as it turned out, they themselves were guilty of spreading misinformation and soon became the butt of many jokes in Britain. The government and media have not only spread a lot of misinformation during the 2020 scandemic, but they have also tried to make it illegal for people to speak the truth or question unreliable information from the media and the government. This is what the government of Jamaica is trying to do right now, using Commissioner Anderson as a proxy. Do not be fooled. In the coming months, we can expect a lot of propaganda from our own government. And we already see that happening right now because we see where crime and violence is out of control. But then the commissioner is holding press conferences telling us that crime is going down. And while many Jamaicans are struggling, can barely afford a meal, the Prime Minister is going around on every social media platform that he can, saying that Jamaica is doing absolutely well. The economy is booming, the GDP is going up, and unemployment rate is down. And this and that, oh, Jamaica's economy is doing so well under the JLP, while Jamaicans are languishing. The cost of living has gone through the roof, and many of us can barely afford to survive. But the Prime Minister is out here telling us that Jamaica is doing well.
It is clear that it is the Jamaica Labour Party which has always increased the talents of the Jamaican people. It is clear that it is the Jamaica Labour Party that has registered the highest growth, the lowest inflation, the lowest unemployment, the largest increase in the personal income of Jamaicans. These are facts that are indisputable, immutable.
They want to make laws to silence us because they do not want any opposition while they spread their lies. They want us to ignore the realities that we see and believe the lies that they tell us. How can the Commissioner of Police be out there saying that crime is down when we have 27 murders in a period of just 5 days? Towards the end of June and the beginning of July of this year. 27 murders in 5 days. And the police commissioner is out here telling us that crime is down. It is very important that we stand up for our right to speak the truth and to question things when they do not make sense to us. We should not let them silence our voices and manipulate us into believing the lies that they are trying to tell us. Together we can make sure that our voices are heard and we hold those in power accountable for their actions, because we recognize that this government is always running from accountability. That is what is happening with the Auditor General's report, where they are trying to, well, they're not trying to, they have held on to it now, saying, well, you're not going to see it for another 2 months, when in 2 months' time, Parliament is on vacation. Before I end this video, I want to also acknowledge that there are some people out there calling themselves bloggers who only care about getting attention and going viral. I'm aware of that. They post things without considering the impact it might have on Jamaicans. And even if it causes harm, they don't care as long as the video goes viral. Now, while these individuals should be criticized and held accountable, I believe that it is up to us as the citizens to hold them accountable and not the law. However, this does not give the government the right to now come in and say, oh, well, there are these people out there spreading lies and misinformation. We're going to make laws to ban everyone. Because then what is going to happen is that the law is going to encompass everyone's ability to speak freely, and we cannot allow that. Because the moment we lose the ability to freely express ourselves, that is when we enter into a dangerous territory of tyranny. It becomes incredibly challenging to recover from that. It is the responsibility of each and every one of us to ensure that the government doesn't take away our rights and our freedom. No matter how scared we may feel or how convincing the arguments may be in favor of limiting our free speech, we must remain vigilant and demand that everyone is allowed to speak their mind freely. I also want to take this opportunity to encourage everyone to use the internet responsibly and to always seek the truth. We have to be responsible digital citizens and ensure that the information that we are putting out there, we verify it before we post it. Thank you for listening. And if you found this discussion to be valuable, I want you to like the video, share the video, and subscribe to my channel. Stay informed, stay empowered, and together we can make a difference.